Welcome in, everybody. It's the PrizePicks Prop Show. It's the college football edition today. Myself and Stuart Durst. Michael Govier coming at you. Don't forget, it's real simple. PrizePicks does props. Okay, there's a lot of P's in there. A lot of words that start with the letter P. But the one thing you need to know above all the P's is that up to $100 will be matched on PrizePicks if you use the promo code, another P word, FTN. Stuart, it's Friday. Man, we had a fun night Thursday night, and we had week 0 too. Our picks did pretty well. I mean, you must feel pretty good about how things went for week 0 as well.
Yeah, no, started off the show with the week 0 winner. Yesterday, we got a little bit of an appetizer, right? It was a little bit of a treat about what we're going to get this weekend, and now we've got a beautiful weekend slate. I'm excited to keep it going, keep the streak alive today. Yeah,
me too. There's no doubt about it. I think there is so much to choose from when you get the full slate like this on a Friday, and then all of Saturday, a little bit of Sunday if you're a Hawaiian, depending where you are in the East Coast time zone. And then, of course, Monday night we got Clemson and Georgia Tech. So let's get into it right now. Give us your first prop pick for the PrizePicks show.
All right, I'll start us off here with Caleb Smith, over 46.5 receiving yards. This is over on Virginia Tech. We got a nice Friday game. I like to spread it out a little bit. We'll get a Friday winner, make us feel good, get us right in our seats for that primetime Saturday winner. So I've got two kind of different plays. We got one for opportunity day and one for talent. I think Caleb Smith definitely falls into the opportunity basket. This is a different Virginia Tech team than we're going to remember from last season, and we can already kind of see that with the line. They're only 7-point favorites against an Old Dominion team that, isn't the greatest team in the world. I was very surprised to see that line. I was expecting maybe 2 touchdowns, a little bit more than that. I think Virginia Tech comes out and makes a statement right here. Obviously has a pretty tough schedule this season, but we're starting off with a kind of in-state rival right here, and Caleb Smith is kind of propositioning himself to be the #1 wide receiver in this core, right? The 2 other guys he's playing with, the 2 other starters on the depth charts. I want everyone in here to take a mental guess on how many career catches they have. Pause for 1 sec. If you got that number, 13 career catches between the other 2 starters on the depth chart. Caleb Smith has been in the system since he started. He walked on, I believe, at Virginia Tech 2 seasons ago and has been here ever since. So if there's anyone that's going to know this playbook, be able to take advantage of this Old Dominion passing defense that ranked worse than 100th in the country last season, I think it's going to be Smith. These other 2 guys were, like I said, 13 career catches. They're moving into a new system, trying to figure it out. I think there'll be plenty of volume to go around right here, but I think Caleb Smith has clearly identified himself as the #1 wide receiver coming out of training camp. Love hearing all the hype. Love a nice 6'3" guy with 4.4 speed coming in here. Been a little bit undervalued these last 2 seasons. I'm kind of chasing a breakout week 1. I think he goes for 60-plus yards right here. So 46.5, definitely some value right here.
Woo! Okay. Hokies. Man, enter Sandman as part of the Hokie lore down there, Blacksburg. It's funny to think about. Man, Virginia Tech always brings back so many memories of Michael Vick and, Shane Beamer's the coach now, but his dad, Frank, was a legend there. So we are moving along in the world of college football, and that just means I'm getting older, I guess. But as far as getting older and more seasoned and coming into their own, Devonta Chain is a guy that I think can easily go over his total. Now, they're taking on Sam Houston State, so, there could be a situation here where several of the running backs for the Texas A&M Aggies could get into the mix there, but I think 88.5 over on the rushing total is very, very doable. And in fact, both guys I picked today for my props are guys that could really break it open with one play. And Devonta Chain is one guy who could absolutely he could take it to the house at any given moment. He had a really, really gaudy yards per carry last year, over 7 yards per carry. He had 900 yards, and even though Isaiah Spiller, who just went on to the NFL, has played with the Chargers now, was one of their main, if not their main back, certainly their lead back at minimum, I would say. So I think this is a situation where you got a cupcake team. The only risk here is that other running backs will get into the mix, and maybe he'll get pulled early. But I think the safety valve to prevent that from happening is the fact that he is such a speedster, and he can take it to the house at any given moment. So really, all we need is one big 70-yard run, maybe right off from the 25-yard line, takes it 75 yards, boom, we're almost there. And I think from there it should be pretty easy. A lot of players like this in college football, Stuart, but I think this is a pretty safe bet.
Yeah, no, this is one of those guys they're gonna want to get the ball to in space. Exactly like you said, over 7 yards per carry last season. If this was a grinder in a kind of game that could be a blowout, that's where it gets a little bit more scary. But on a team that just vacated, like you said, one of the best running backs in all of college football last season to the Chargers now, they're going to want to see what they have. They're going to have a fairly crowded running back room. As you know, they're brought in a couple of transfer guys. I think they give a lot of these guys plenty of opportunity to really show what they've got, especially in a pretty rough matchup, right? It's a good opportunity to really see what you've got there. And I think that's exactly what they do. And yeah, 20-yard rushes, 40-yard rushes against a team like Sam Houston, give it to me right now. I'll take it. I mean, this could be a 50-7 kind of game. So plenty of opportunity in store.
Yep, no doubt about it. Just got to watch for the blowout and getting him on the bench early. Let's prevent that from happening. Wait till the late third quarter, hopefully. All right, we're moving along here in the PrizePicks Prop Showdown show. Next up is you, Mr. Durst. Who's your second prop play of this weekend?
Yeah, I started it off with opportunity. Now we're going full throttle talent. Jackson Smith in the Jigba, possibly the #1 wide receiver drafted in this next upcoming NFL draft. The hype is there. This guy was able to carve himself out a role last season with two of the best wide receivers in football still there with Olave and Wilson, who were both drafted in the first round. He was still able to kind of stick his head in there and craft a role. And then, as we saw when those guys were sitting out in that bowl game last season, 300 plus yards on prime time TV against a pretty good Utah defense. Ooh, this is exciting, man. This is his chance. Obviously, he showed the world in prime time last season what he's about. He's going to be able to do it again against a Notre Dame team that it kind of takes out the blowout element, right? We're expecting a fairly competitive game. But for me personally, if there's been one thing that's made me money over the last 3-5 seasons of college football, I'm going to fade Notre Dame when they go against an elite team. All consensus says that this is the best team in football this year. And to be honest, I kind of like when we have an elite receiver against a good cornerback duo. Because what that means right here is that they're going to trust their cornerbacks a lot more than some of these other teams who would be instantly doubling him out of the box. If we get just a couple one-on-one situations this game, I think Notre Dame's going to regret it, and I think he's going to take advantage of it. So 115 receiving yards is obviously a lot, but after that 300 last season, I mean, I think we could just cut out everything I just said, roll the highlight tape, and I think you guys would see what I'm talking about. This guy is extremely athletic, and I'm excited for him to kind of show Notre Dame what he's about this week.
You know, what's funny, Stuart, is I was actually looking at a prop involving him, but I was actually looking at the catches total. I thought he might go under, because I think it was at 8 last time I saw it, 8 receptions. But I still thought he could easily eclipse the receiving total. Even if he only got the ball 6 times, this guy can go for 6,200. He really can. And I think it's a great call. I'm with you. I like it. And, as a guy who went to Michigan and, I'm an alum, last year was an incredible moment, finally taking out Ohio State, but there's always that fear that we got to go down there again this year, take on that offense. Looked incredible in that Rose Bowl last year against Utah. So, my final prop play here, I'm going back to the Big Ten as well, and it's a receiver, okay? So, I swear, me and Stuart, we did not conspire. It's just how things worked out. But I'm taking Hakeem Jarrett. Hakeem Jarrett, 74.5 receiving yards over. I'm going to go above that. So let's get to 75 receiving yards for Hakeem Jarrett of Maryland, who's taking on the Buffalo Bulls, who are a team in transition. They lost their head coach to Kansas a couple years ago, and the best of Buffalo went with Lance Leopold, unfortunately. So now you're in a situation where this passing offense for Maryland is really good. It's outstanding. Hakeem Jarrett, the 5-star stud who blew off LSU to come to Maryland, and he was trying to mold himself in the same model that Stephon Diggs did at Maryland, who's now a big-time star Buffalo Bills in the NFL. So Jarrett can fly, and we've got Tua's brother, Taulaya Tagovailoa, throwing the ball. And this offense here is a big deal. Mike Locksley knows how to throw the ball with this offense, and they're going to throw it all over the field. In fact, I think Tagovailoa's his overall total was like 359 for passing yards. It was a very high expectation for that number. So I'm expecting easily for Hakeem Jarrett to get to 74.5 over on the receiving yardage total. This guy can fly. He's another guy, just like Chain, a guy who can really move. And if he just gets one play, he can take it to the house, and we're going to hit this over.
Yeah, no, I mean, I love this one. Like you said, Tuli's at 350 passing yards. And when we looked at last season, right, when he was getting that kind of almost Heisman buzz around midway through the season, that was before Maryland played any real teams. And he put up video game numbers against some of these Buffalo adjacent teams. When it really kind of went crumbling down is when they faced the Iowas of the world and actually had to face some real defenses. So I think this year's going to be pretty similar. I think they're going to once again put up video game numbers on a team like Buffalo before, they'll crumble a little bit more in some of these division games. But I like this. I wish you could kind of take some alternate lines. This is one of those that if this does kind of go through the game script we're talking about, he could easily be over 100 yards in this game, especially if Buffalo can keep it somewhat close here.
Yep. All right, well, there it is. Me and Stuart Durst are doing it again here. We do this every Friday. It's the PrizePicks Prop Show presented by FTN. Don't forget that promo code. Up to $100 will be matched if you use promo code FTN in the PrizePicks app. Make your props, make your plays, use our picks, make your own, mix and match, do whatever you want. It's a free world. Do as you please. For Stuart Durst, I'm Michael Govier. Thanks for joining us.